Welcome back to Mournful Walrus, and this is gaming news with another Kickstarter spotlight. Or something, because titles are hard. So today we have We Happy Few. 4 days left, but it also made it, so I'm not too worried about it. It looks amazing, and here we go. So We Happy Few, welcome to Wellington Wells, you saucy minx, is by Compulsion Games, a small game company from Montreal, Canada. The game looks amazing and also kind of like a procedurally generated stealth game that reminds me a whole lot of the first BioShock. Let's have a quick look at the trailer and see what you guys think.
And that was a peek at the exciting new game, We Happy Few. And it's all set in our very own city, Wellington Wells. Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to have with us here in the studio the creative director of We Happy Few. Please welcome Mr. Guillaume Prevost.
Thanks for having me on the show, Jack.
Tell me, Guillaume, why make a game all about us?
Well, we like England.
Yes?
We like the 60s.
Oh, yes?
We love dystopia.
Dystopia? More like utopia, because, well, let's face it, we're all so happy here. Do you know the secret behind the famous Wellington Wells smile? Well, it's the miraculous little pill, ingeniously called joy. And it helps us forget anything bad that might have happened to us. And life is just wonderful every day.
Yeah, so back in the war, when the Germans invaded England and...
What an imagination this fellow has. What an imagination. Of course, none of us had to do anything terrible when the Germans were here. No. At least, I can't remember anything. Can you?
Right, so as the player, you're not actually taking joy. You're off your meds. You're trying to escape the city before it all comes crashing down on you.
That sounds awful. Why would anybody stop taking their happy pills? Do you know what we call people who don't take their joy? Downers, Jason. And do you know what we do with downers? They give them a jolly good thrashing until they take their joy. That's what we do.
In the game.
I think that gives you a rough idea of what the game's about. Totally check out the link to the Kickstarter and watch the whole trailer. It's pretty good. I like creative themed trailers. Yeah, so it's based in dystopian England, or a dystopian English city, not in England, but it's in England somewhere, in 1964. It's from the studio who brought you Contrast, which is the really cool puzzle game. I don't really know what to call it. It was kind of a semi-linear, semi-open world-ish puzzle game with a really cool shadow dimension dynamic thing. You can watch Neil, I forget his username. I think it's King something. I'll link down in an annotation roughly here. And you can check it out. He does a pretty good let's play of it. It's fun to watch him yell at a carousel for half an hour, because it's full of shadow puzzles, and shadow puzzles are crazy. So, anyhow. They reached their goal, I'm guessing yesterday, maybe the day before, I'm not quite sure. There's 4 days left. The stretch goals are a drug paradise, a new sandbox mode, Uncle Jack show, or more of Uncle Jack's shows. And Uncle Jack was the guy in the trailer interviewing the guy. He's I guess a regular main character. Authentic English weather. I have no idea what that means, but we're gonna find out in just a second. And new game mode, Welly mode. Also don't know what that means either. So, Drug Paradise will create additional craftable drugs derived from joy that enhance certain traits, i.e. hearing, seeing, stamina, and expand the direct visual and audio feedback of being high by changing the elements of the world to better reflect your happy. Oh, and there's a crashing effect, withdrawal, and addiction. That's intense. Which kind of makes me think of the atom concept in BioShock, and then also the like faux futuristic retro aesthetic of the game, which is a lot like the first Bioshock 2. Well, I guess all the Bioshocks, really, but most of the first one, that's the one I'm more familiar with. So, I'll probably end up doing a playthrough of that at some point, because I never finished it, and really should. It's so scary. Okay, yeah, which is, I really like the 60s aesthetic of the game is done really well, and just all the art and stuff, and it looks great. Followed by new game mode, sandbox mode. We all know what a sandbox mode is. You can, indefinite mode, set in a world where you can customize as you wish, larger, smaller, more dangerous, less food, and more wellies. Oh, I should mention, the world which the game is played in, is talked about in the trailer later, is procedurally generated. So every time you die, you get a whole new city to wander around in. That's pretty cool. So I guess in the sandbox mode you can make the city bigger, smaller, more dangerous, less food, more wellies, blah blah blah. And wellies are the NPCs of the character, mostly negative ones, I guess. So the ones that beat the crap out of you. Up next we have Uncle Jack shows. More Uncle Jack. We go out and take additional set of Uncle Jack shows to be seen in-game. We have 32 episodes right now, and they'll add another 20 if they hit that goal, which they're not going to do most likely. So what the hell is this authentic English weather? We will give you the option to remove the sun, add drizzle, and everyone will be more pale than they are now. Naturally, everyone will also be more charming and better at making tea. I love it. It's absurd and silly, and I love it. What is welly mode? Oh, you get to play as a welly and hunt down the downers. So downers are the ones who don't take the joy drug, which is what you initially play. Because everyone is taking the drug, and they're in their crazy little happy world, and they're like the whatcha-calls-ems from Bioshock, the, carnies. I can't remember what they're called in the game, it's been a long time. And then you play someone who doesn't take the drugs, because you're rebelling against the system and stuff. And it's a stealth game. I really wish I could just play the whole trailer. I might go back to it a little bit more, just because it explains the game so well. So definitely check out the trailer. Another annotation here. Okay. They've been doing weekly developmental updates, which is pretty cool. I actually got a lot of these pictures from going through the updates and having to read. I got the announcement trailer, which I totally didn't actually see before, which will be linked in an annotation in the shape of the video. Compulsion Games. This is also exactly how I look, if you're wondering.
Wakey, wakey, everyone.
Wakey, wakey.
It's another fabulous day in Wellington Wells. The weather is only slightly rainy with streaks of lovely sunshine. Everyone in Wellington Wells is doing exactly what he or she ought to. Smiling and laughing and taking their joy. What about you?
That's right. I'm talking to you. Are you doing what you should? Of course you are. After all, you're not a downer, are you? We know what to do about downers, don't we?
Now, some people have asked me what to do about the happy, excited throngs running through the street.
Whoops.
What you should
This
do
won't end well, I don't know. Not super well. Oh, and then here's the first part. Cool. I like that. We happy few. Put on a big smile or get hit with a cricket bat. 1964 England, blend in with other citizens who don't take kindly to people who don't abide by their not-so-natural rules. First-person game, fully 3D city you must escape before society collapses around you. But in any good roguelike, you're probably going to die a few times before you figure out how it all works. Need to learn how to conform and avoid suspicion, hunt out supplies and craft the devices and weapons to enable you to make it out of town alive. And I guess there's a very good chance you're going to starve unless you escape, is like one of the main reasons to run away. Yes. And for one thing, the art style is still fantastic. Everyone's taking their joy, unless you be beaten to death. And I guess these are actually some of the main characters, or at least character archetypes. You've got, it goes over that down here somewhere. There we go. So here are the downers. I guess the three ones that you have. Oh, yeah, for you to unlock and play. You've got her, him, and what's-his-face. He's in the trailer, or in the Kickstarter trailer a little bit. I have no idea who these other two are. But they look fantastic. Our playable characters are not typical video game heroes. They are flawed and not particularly heroic. Warped by the trauma their world has been through. They are haunted by terrible things that they've done in the past, and they each have something they urgently need to accomplish. Each one has a story to play through. Their stories all interweave. So by playing one character, you can unlock the new ones. And each character has his or her own strengths and weaknesses, which change how you play the game. Not appropriate for children, unless your children are reading, or unless your children are already reading Neo Gaiman stories. That's fantastic. In which case, good on you. That's a fantastic little nod. I like that. So they're average wellies. These are just your generic NPCs who will mob you for no real reason. Then you have the specialized ones. You've got the Bobby, the nosy old lady who's always sticking her nose where it does not belong, the doctor who will definitely know if you're faking it. And I have no idea who these guys are. Yeah, no idea. So I guess the building design is either going to be crazy ruins from the war, or retrofitted semi-futuristic gibberish with crazy Technicolor madness. Pretty cool. I mean, why not? Began building a prototype in January 2014. They had a booth at PAX East in March. Yeah, it's most of the interesting stuff. Their team 2 years ago was just 7 people, and now it is 13 to 14. It's pretty cool, because someone took the picture, I guess. Contrast, which was their first game, it was a launch title for the PS4. It also came out on PC, PS3, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. Hi, kitty. Now, we're on to the actual money stuff. So, for $6 US or $8 Canadian, because they are in Canada, you can give them a beer. That's an expensive-ass beer. Then the second tier is the early bird special, which is already gone, which would have been $20 US or 25 Canadian for the game, a copy of the game. Then it's 30 Canadian, 24 US for the game if you are a late bird, which we all are at this point. Collector's tier for 40 Canadian, 32 US, you get the digital game, soundtrack, and digital art book. Number 5, the pre-alpha tier. You get your name of the game and pre-alpha access. Pretty cool. Number 6, oh yeah, that one's $48 to $60 Canadian to US, $70 Canadian, 60 or 56 US. This is getting so annoying to say. You also get a copy of Contrast and everything else. Number 7, the goods. For 110 Canadian or $88 US, you get a copy of Contrast, a t-shirt, a poster, digital art book, digital game, soundtrack, pre-alpha access, and naming the game, which I think I already said. Number 8, the best mate. You get a copy of Contrast. Okay, so you get all that bullshit plus a second copy for 120 US or 150 Canadian, but I keep mixing up the order I say this in, so it's really confusing. Sorry guys, I'll just read the thing before you buy it. Number 9, the librarian. You get all that other stuff plus a coffee table art book, which is actually really tempting. I'm a little surprised at how tempted I am by that. I really like the art in this so far. Canadian 225, US 180. Number 10, the boxer. All of that, except I don't think you get the art book. No, instead of the art book, you get a signed collector's box, which get a game code copy. Oh, no, you get the art book, soundtrack, and the box is signed by the team, and you get a Blu-ray of the Uncle Jack shows. That's cool. Get a Blu-ray of the show. Number 11, the decorator. Limited edition, high-quality, signed posts. Well, art prints, not necessarily posters. They are probably too small for posters. Whatever. 500 Canadian, 400 US. Getting a little out of my range, I think. The Vandal at number 12. For $400 Canadian or 320 US. They dropped the price because it was really, really expensive. You get all of that other stuff, except like the box set and stuff. But you get to create your own drawing, message, or graffiti that will be incorporated into the game world. And, you know, the messages, they could, you know, agree or disagree with some stuff. So, you know, careful what you choose. The Collector. Digital game, digital art book, soundtrack, poster, copy of contrast, t-shirt, pre-alpha access, name of the game, plus a signed and personalized canvas transfer. That's something you don't see very often on Kickstarter. It's interesting. So it's kind of, you know, the big canvas, like the canvas paintings, except it's not a painting, it's just a, kitty, get out of my tea. Crazy cat. Silly kitty. That's 1,500 Canadian or 1,200 US. Oh boy. Alright, 2,500 or 2,000 US, you get your face on a propaganda poster in the game. And also a print signed by Uncle Jack. That's... So, wait, you get a print of the poster that you're in. That is really cool. I'm probably never going to spend that much money on a Kickstarter, but that is really cool. Oh, and for 4,000 US or 5,000 Canadian, you can get coached by a narrative director and be in the game as a citizen, and you get to voice yourself. But you there's a catch. You have to have a believable British accent. That's hilarious. Also, VIP invitation to the launch party. That's really cool. Number 16, what do you get? You get immortalized in the history of Wellington Wells by having a scenario crafted about your own demise. Whoa, that's really cool. For $5,000. Okay, that's the same price as the voice acting one. As is the best mate. You get to send Uncle Jack a letter or drawing, and he'll showcase it on the telly in the game. That's really neat. I like that. So that's all of the tiers. So let's see, that was $30 Canadian, 24 US for the game itself in the basic base. Unless you want to give them $6 or $8 for a beer, which is cool too. And you get all the backer updates and stuff like that. Yeah.
You are going to starve.
You are going to starve. So, there's not much else to say. I have links in the thing, annotations where I can annotate. Feel free to throw some money at these guys. I think they could, you know, every little penny helps. The extra Jack show sounds really cool. I actually really like the authentic English weather stretch goal, but there was no chance in hell that we're going to get that in 4 days. We're going to have to grind another 100,000 in 4 days. Good luck. I believe in you. Yeah, so you've been watching Mournful Walrus. I've been your host, Stephen Weathers. This has been Gaming News, a Kickstarter highlight. Or something else if I changed my mind on the title of this. I don't know. Any suggestions on what to name these little segments, feel free to leave it in the description. Also leave a like, favorite, download the video, put it onto a VHS tape, and put it into the woods somewhere. Always appreciated. I've been your host, Stephen Weathers. Back to you in the studio, Steve. Wait.
Bury me under the trunk of a tree. And tattoo my name on the skin of a pig. Tie it to the truck. I'm running home again. Running home again. Running home again. I'm running home again. I'm running home again. Running home again.